What if artificial intelligence could help end world hunger? That's a powerful question that's been on my mind since stepping off the AI stage here at GITEX Global in Dubai this week. Because that's where I had the chance to continue a fireside chat with someone that's helping turn that vision into action. Because my guest today is Magan Naidoo. He's the Chief Data Officer at the United Nations World Food Programme. And Magan leads the organisation's data and AI strategy and uses technology to deliver food faster, predict shortages and even support emergency responses in more than 80 countries. And this isn't about convenience or productivity. What we're going to talk about today is technology saving lives. So in my conversation today, recorded right after our on-stage discussion, my guest will share how the WFP's Data Foundation has made AI deployment possible, and how they balance innovation with ethics and privacy, and why collaboration between public and private sectors could be the key to solving one of humanity's oldest challenges. It's such a powerful conversation, this one, but enough scene setting from me. So today I'm going to be beaming your ears all the way to the show floor of GITEX Global here in Dubai, where you can sit down with myself and Magan to learn more about some of the possible real-world impacts that AI and technology could achieve. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hi, Neil. I'm Magan Naidoo, Chief Data Officer for the United Nations World Food Programme. And what I do in that role primarily is to provide leadership for the organization on data and artificial intelligence.
Well, one of the things I try and do on this podcast every day is get people thinking differently about the way that technology impacts our lives, our work, and even world very often. That's one of the reasons I invited you on here, because I want to get people thinking bigger than, I don't know, an AI productivity tool or a bigger, better smartphone. So before we get into the technology side of it, though, I'd love to start with the problem first. So tell me more about the scale of the food security problem in the world right now, because it's something that I think many of us take for granted, but you obviously get to see a lot of unfortunate things here. So tell me about the scale of the problem that you see.
Yeah, the scale of the problem is massive. From the information we have, we understand food shortage is affecting people in the order of hundreds of millions of people around the world. The scale and the breadth of the organization, we operate in more than 80 countries in the world. So it's quite a widespread problem. It's quite diverse, and is one that's been in existence for a long time and really difficult to address. The World Food Programme has made strong inroads over the many years in closing the gap. But as much as we are closing the gap, it is also dealing with a moving target. So there are all sorts of factors that continue to create food shortage in the world. And, it's really a big problem at this point. But I think as we bring our resources together as a collective world in terms of technology, in terms of people, in terms of funding, it is something that we can achieve and collectively solve.
And when we're talking about a problem on this scale, such as global hunger, food security, etc., where do you begin to bring technology into that, specifically AI? Tell me more about the tech and AI. Tell me more about the power of data in your humanitarian work as well, because there's no AI without data.
Absolutely. No AI without data. You're spot on. And data is core. So for us, I think the good news at WFP is that more than a year back, we started making inroads on our thinking on data more broadly as an enterprise, because we have a lot of data we collected over the years. However, we've looked at how do we embrace that more holistically and leverage that more holistically. So more than a year ago, we launched our WFP Global Data Strategy, which created strong foundations on how we harness and leverage that data. So we've made good progress in setting that foundation, which then set us up for ambitions on artificial intelligence. Because as you said, no data, no AI. So for us, by having that strong data foundation in place, having strong thinking on data governance, on data infrastructure, on data ethics and privacy, we're able to move that much faster on artificial intelligence because we've got the basics in place. We've got the mechanisms to collect and harness data. And where we are now is using technology like AI to process that data and give us rich insights to inform our activities in terms of food prediction and emergency response and even procurement and supply chain optimization.
And supply chain is something that we've took for granted for a long time. I think about 5 years ago, a lot of people woke up to the seriousness of that. So tell me more about the AI side of things. How are you using AI to explore so many of these different problems that we're talking about here? Because it really is a game changer, isn't it? The kind of work that you're doing with the technology and the data in place.
Absolutely. It's a game changer, certainly from a perspective of it's now allowing us to process these huge data sets that are incredibly difficult and costly for humans to do, and it takes a lots of time, where you now have AI models that can process the data and provide rich insights that then enable us to take action on terms of food prediction, how to respond, where to respond, how to respond faster. And from a supply chain point of view, it's helping us optimize supply routes to get the food in more optimally and more cost effectively. And from a procurement point of view, which allows us then to source food more optimally and more cost effectively as well. So there's a whole downstream effect where artificial intelligence and data comes together to enable an organization like the World Food Programme.
And of course, there's an old saying in IT, you can only improve what you measure. Do you have a before and after picture, or how do you measure the success? Or what does success look like for you when you're using AI?
So we do have lead and lag measures because we have to understand, to your point, understand the problem first before you try to solve it. So with a lot of these things, whether it's supply chain, whether it's operations, procurement, food delivery, whether it's emergency response, we have a lot of data that has shown how we've done this in the past, at what cost, at what speed, and effectively what we would call our cost to serve. So I think cost to serve would be a clear metric on a sense of how we're leveraging AI to do things faster and driving that metric to be more optimal.
So we've defined a problem using technology to solve the problem. But of course, when we implement AI, especially in a sensitive area that you're using it here, how do you use it responsibly and ethically and keep that data private? Anything you can share around that?
Absolutely. It's top of mind for us, Neil, in terms of how we treat data, because we're a public organization, so we've got to be very careful with the trust that people place in us by allowing us to store and process their data. We also have, government organizations that watch carefully and want assurances in how we're doing this in terms of data. So we, firstly, from a control perspective, we have strong controls around ethics, around governance, around privacy, and even cyber security control measures. So we have if you want to call it, the governance mechanisms and the people controls, but we also have the technology controls, where at a technical level we can enforce all the controls. We can ensure things like private data are controlled within our landscape. They're not taken off our landscape, and then where we lose visibility of how that data is used and processed. And we have to do that to give assurance to the people and that who have given us the data, the people that we do serve around the world and assist, where a lot of their private data is stored with us and processed. So we have to demonstrate to them that they can place trust in us and place reliance that the data is stored securely, it's processed and used in the right manner.
You said to me before we started recording today that you're the only agency to have an AI strategy out there. And I think many businesses, organizations, public and private sector, when they're launching an AI strategy, there's always a certain amount of resistance to begin with, or fear of the unknown. Did you encounter any of this?
We did indeed. We did that. We did encounter that even when we did our data strategy, because change is hard, especially in a big organization where you're so dispersed around the world and people think of the same thing in different ways. So with our AI strategy as well, we did have a lot of resistance, and probably the resistance more in the form of fear, because there's a lot of fear mongering going on in artificial intelligence, how it will be used, what it will be doing for people's jobs, etc. So one of the things we took off the table early on, we said our strategy is about human augmentation. We are not about human replacement. It's because we simply do not have the funds to hire as many people as we'd like to. So we're looking at AI to fill those gaps, where we can use AI agents for activities where we cannot hire people to do that work, or where we can get AI to do that work and free up the human resource then to do other things that humans are not getting to.
And I was speaking to somebody on the show floor today, and they was talking about the problem of attracting talent to areas that are in need of help, maybe Syria, for example, or Iraq, and various other places around the world, and considering using agentic AI to help people in that region. Is that something that interests you as well?
Absolutely. We have lots of talent around the world. So where we do have skilled, experienced people on artificial intelligence in the countries, we've used them in the form of global squads where they become part of the teams that build and deliver these technology solutions. They bring the local context and they also bring the technical expertise. So we're certainly leveraging people where we have pockets of excellence around the world and, use people locally. And then we also are looking at AI agents where we, certainly on the back end, where we're building things where you can use AI agents and agentic AI, for example, like data engineering or data analytic work, where you then can clone the human expertise into AI agents. So we're certainly doing that. And then also on the front end now, where you can use AI for, certain business activities that are perhaps repetitive and mechanical, where you can train the AI and then place enough learning in it where then you can place the reliance to say, okay, AI can do the work. But an added guardrail we have when we do that is human in the loop. So we do also insist in human in the loop that AI does not execute autonomously.
And also, I think when looking at your industry, comparing it to the private sector, all they care about is high availability. You've not got a luxury of like this. Your work is literally the difference between life and death for the people that you serve there. So any other big challenges that you've encountered throughout this process?
So for us, it's very real, as you say. It's life and death. It's not a soft target. It's not something that we can miss and say, okay, it's okay. We'll fix it on the next round, or we'll get to it at another point. It literally is about are we targeting the right people? Are we getting the assistance in? Are we getting the food in? Are people being fed? So it's really hard metrics. It's really hard metrics that one cannot skirt around. So we do get a lot of support in terms of enabling those ambitions. We do have a lot of support and goodwill from governments that enable us on that and from people on the ground. So as much as there is that, if you want to call it resistance or apprehension around AI, I think people are also understanding the value and the importance of supporting our ambitions around artificial intelligence.
And I would imagine it's something you can't do on your own. So you're solving a global problem here. So is there any partnerships involved? Do you work with lots of different partners, tech partners?
Partnerships are very key for us. It's the thing we see as a key enabler in execution of our AI strategy. So we're partnering with people inside the UN system. There's a multitude of UN agencies doing work on data and artificial intelligence, and we're collaborating on things that we can do together and get economies of scale. Then we're looking outside externally. We're looking to governments who are working with us and supporting us. We are working with academic institutions who are providing expertise and knowledge in terms of the work they're doing, and even some capacity in the form of masters and PhD students in the data and AI space. And then finally, private sector who have made massive investments in artificial intelligence over the years, have rich tools and technology that we can benefit from. So we're talking to private sector on how we can leverage the innovation that they've already cut through and repurpose it for humanitarian context.
And what I love about your work is you're really making a difference here in thinking bigger than just another productivity tool, solving a real world problem. But what makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning? What excites you about working in this space?
The thing that excites me, Neil, is impact. I think I've not worked in a place where there's opportunity to have bigger impact than in the World Food Programme. So that's the thing that gets me excited. That's the key thing that keeps me energized and focused and passionate about what I do. It's not chasing commercial metrics or other soft targets. It's really about, are we impacting people in the world for the better through artificial intelligence? And that's what excites me. And I'm also energized by the people who bring that positive energy when I talk to them about this topic. There are many people who reach out unsolicited to share their journey in a similar way or offer collaboration opportunities with them.
And if we have anybody listening anywhere in the world that would, maybe they haven't got their AI strategy, maybe they're early on in their AI strategy, or maybe they even would be like to be a part of yours, what advice would you give to that person listening that wants to have a similar impact to make a difference?
So there's a couple of things. I think the first thing is be ambitious. So set the bar high and try and achieve as much of it as you can, but be realistic as well in terms of what you can achieve and in terms of what time frames. Then I think also solicit support internally at the leadership level and across the length and breadth of the organization to get people behind the momentum around the strategy and the execution roadmap. And then partnering, look outside, look to others that have done it, consult with them, test and learn, use them as a bouncing board in terms of what you're trying to do to validate, to either disapprove or validate what you're trying to do, so you can sense check whether you're on the right track or not. So I think those are the things. And then also very important is once you have a strategy, once you have it approved, it's very important to switch to execution very quickly. Because as you execute and deploy, you will start to build trust and there will be a national momentum behind it.
And for people listening here, we're 3 months away or 3 months away from 2026, 4 from 2030. I'm sure you've got many exciting goals and things that you want to achieve, but what's the future look like for you? What are you aiming for, and what help are you looking for from the global community?
Those are great questions, Neil. So in terms of goals, we're still targeted and chasing the goal of zero hunger. So, and we believe we still can get there. And with technologies like artificial intelligence now in the landscape, that will help accelerate our ambitions. So the key for us is to break down that really massive problem into bite-sized chunks in terms of solving it in components and solving it in a way that all the results aggregate to the outcome that we're after. And then in terms of help, I think that's where we need the help to get to that goal, to get to that very ambitious goal that is really a big goal, but should be a shared goal of the world. And that's where we reach out to governments to support us, those that already are to scale their support, and those that are not part of it to become part of the journey. And then private sector. I think private sector really important in enabling our ambitions. So it's a call to action to private sector to partner with the World Food Programme to help us execute our ambitions on artificial intelligence to meet our goal of zero hunger.
Well, I, for one, am incredibly inspired by not only yourself, but the work that you're doing here. Not only AI saving lives, but that possibility that technology could solve a global hunger there. And it's something that's been present in my entire life and yours indeed. So hopefully AI can make a difference here and finally solve this once and for all. But thank you for sharing your story. But before I do let you go, where can people listening find out more information if they want to get involved or just keep up to speed with the kind of work that you're doing?
So we, being the type of organization we are, we publish all our collateral on the public domain. So they could go to the WFP internet sites and find information there. And we do have a LinkedIn channel called WFP Digital that does post a lot of our collateral. You will find through the channel we've posted content on our data strategies, our technology strategies, and more recently our artificial intelligence strategies. So that's where they can get a lot of insights on what we're trying to achieve from a technology point of view. And certainly all the information is on our internet sites so that they can, and they can, of course, reach out to myself on LinkedIn. Happy to connect and talk to people who are willing to join the cause and support.
Well, I will link to everything you mentioned there, and I would urge everybody listening to check out those channels. They may even find pictures of you and I on stage today here at GITEX Global, but more than anything, just thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Neil. Appreciate it.
Wow, speaking with Magan today, it reminded me why conversations like these really matter. Because yes, we often hear about AI as a competitive advantage. Yet in his world, it is a humanitarian one, helping decide who gets fed, when, and how quickly. And when you measure success in lives improved rather than metrics met, I think it changes how you think about technology entirely. Certainly made me think differently and bigger about some of the possibilities here. And as 2030 edges closer, the World Food Programme's goal of zero hunger may feel incredibly ambitious, but his leadership shows how data, AI, and global partnership can all make it achievable. So this is a call to action for governments, researchers, and businesses who might be listening to this episode today. Consider this your call to action to come and join the mission, to use your innovations to maybe serve something bigger than just profit. So if this episode may you see technology's potential in hopefully a different light and make you think bigger about some of the real world impacts that you might be able to have here, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Could AI really be the tool that helps the world finally defeat hunger? Please, let's keep this conversation going. You can reach me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. I'm on all social channels, just at Neil C. Hughes, if you want to send me a DM. And if you want to listen to more powerful conversations like this, head over to techtalksnetwork.com. But that's it for today. So thank you to everyone for listening. And I cordially invite you to join me again tomorrow. But I've taken up far too much of your time today. So I'll speak with you tomorrow. Bye for now.